So today, what am I up to? First, I have to chase down my wife to go with her to the vet, and then I got to eat some ossenworst, New Holland, a seasonal delicacy that people look forward to with such anticipation that they have breathless newspaper announcements when the first shipment will come in. It's freshly brined raw herring.
Howdy.
I picked today's topics, raw food and bathroom habits, in honor of Herodotus. Oh, look at all the fish. Our readings this week had Babylonians eating dried fish, Egyptians eating fish uncooked, either sun-dried or brined. You met Ethiopian fish eaters. Some Indians eat raw fish, and Scythians brine sturgeon. Oh, moving van. All of these weirdo fish eaters live at the edge of the world. The ossenworst have to be caught between the end of May and the end of August. Why? Because they're at peak fattiness after a lean winter, but they haven't started spawning, so there's no roe. They get caught and then put into oak barrels and soaked for around 5 days in a lightly salted and seasoned brine, where their fish gut enzymes get activated to preserve the fish and make them tender and tasty. They used to only be sold until the 30th of September, but nowadays, since they're required to flash freeze a fish at 4 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit for at least 48 hours, that kills herring parasites. You can keep them frozen before brining and enjoy them year-round. You just can't call them by their registered trademark, ossenworst. You can eat them whole, grab them by the tail and dangle them over your gullet like a seal. But in Amsterdam, when you buy them on the street, they're cut into chunks and you get a Dutch flag toothpick as a utensil. They come with pickles or raw onions or both, but I prefer them chunky and covered in raw onions. These two cost about $5.
They say.
In our readings this week, we heard about man-made laws or customs, that's nomos, as opposed to laws of nature, that's phusis. So my Toyota Tacoma can go about 120 miles per hour before the doors fall off, that's phusis. But the man says that I can only go 55 miles per hour, that's nomos. In Egypt, nomos, human custom, runs like the river Nile in the opposite direction of the rest of the world. There, women pee standing up and men squat. They eat outdoors publicly and do their dirty business indoors privately. Here, in this territory, where women rule, the law of the land says that men can only sit due to hygiene concerns. That's nomos. But let's say someone is up to 6'6" or 2 meters, and that someone cannot physically sit and close the door. That's phusis.
Badkamer.
Longtime viewers of my video blog will recognize the little blue table in the attic with cat toys in the cat box. There's the Duplo diorama. That's my drafting window, the spacious kitchen, and off to the side is the badkamer. It's more of a douche than a shower, but you've got in one room very efficiently a toilet, a sink, and a shower for your bathing needs. Now, regarding dirty business done indoors, how to put this delicately, all Dutch toilets have a brush nearby. In the U.S., you drop the kids off at the pool on the left. Here you drop them off on the slide. So you need a brush to clear the slide. I guess they needed a viewing shelf to inspect their deposits for herring parasites. But that's more than enough said on this topic. The viewing shelf also explains the nomos or law banning men peeing while they're standing up. That is, I guess, one more thing on the topic. So what are we up to next? We're going to eat more raw food and visit public baths, again in honor of Herodotus. We're on our way to the Dapper Mart, that I talked about last time. Our readings this week had Ethiopians drinking milk and eating heaps of meat off the table of the sun. Scythians drink mare's milk and eat ox meat. Massegetae eat meat and drink milk. Libyans drink milk and eat meat too, just not beef, only mutton and goat. And Indians eat meat raw. But first, we're going to have some cheese, milk byproduct.
Kaas.
Actually, we'll talk about the cheese next week. For this week,
Haring.
I'm being told that since I just had herring, I can't have any right now, but I do get to have some stroopwafel, which is good.
Stroopwafel.
Oh, that's caramel between toasted wafers. It's great when it's warm and you get a big one at the market. Yum. So we're going to a public bathhouse now converted into a brewery.
Vlaamse friet.
That happens to be next to a windmill. A good portion of Amsterdam is below sea level, as is a good portion of the Netherlands. These neighborhoods are a polder, or land reclaimed from the sea. This windmill helped to pump the land dry.
Badhuis.
The public bath had separate facilities and separate entrances for men, mannen, and women, vrouwen.
Ossenworst.
Now, when you enter the pub, you also have to follow strict protocols, but it's spacing and hand sanitizing. Ossenworst is a raw delicacy, particular to Amsterdam. It's served as pub food. In case you didn't know, the ox is a castrated bull, which makes draft animals easier to control, but I don't know how it affects the character of the meat. It gets coarsely minced with some pepper, some clove, some foelie, or that's Dutch. English, it's mace. It's a red veiny covering that goes around a nutmeg. And then it gets smoked for at least 10 days at a low temperature, no more than 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so the sausage is preserved. Right now, she's done cooking the sausage. She's just going to slice it up. But it's still raw. It only stays fresh for a week or so. But you serve it with some mustard and a little Dutch flag toothpick, but I just use my fingers. I've included a couple shots here of the brewery, mostly for the tile of the bathhouse and this stairway. That's another custom of the Dutch, is to have really narrow, steep stairs. That's what I run up and down at the beginning of the video. Between 1897 and 1900, this neighborhood, the Indiesabert, was developed as mostly social housing projects for dock workers. The neighborhood was built in the polder at a reclaimed seabed. Wooden piles that are telephone-sized beams get driven into the sandy, marshy soil in order to hold buildings up.
Badhuis.
But when this neighborhood was built, indoor plumbing was a luxury. People did their dirty business in chamber pots or outside of the house. Indoor facilities were an afterthought, and when sanitation laws were put into place in 1910, toilets got shoved into entry hall closet spaces, euphemistically, the water closet. There were no household baths and originally no showers. You would have to go to the nearby squares to use a public bathhouse. But today, we eat outside the house and we do our dirty business inside, just like the Egyptians. And that's what I've been up to.